Hey guys, welcome back to the Backcheck Podcast. It's me and Cam once again, and today we're going to talk about three teams that might trade for Jack Eichel. So, as we've all known now, the story has been lingering on for more than a season. Jack Eichel is absolutely done with Buffalo. He is pissed off. He wants out. He just doesn't want to ever come back to that city located right on the Niagara Falls, located right on Niagara Falls, right? So, honestly, I feel for the guy. You know, you've been playing on this team since 2015, and not even one playoff berth has happened for this team. Buffalo has been the midst of probably the worst performing team in the NHL in the past 6 seasons, undoubtedly. They've also got a lot of first round picks, Rasmus Dahlin, Sam Reinhart, and nothing has happened at all with this. They did win the lottery, as you guys should check out that video in our mock draft. But overall, it's been a ruckus for Jack Eichel. So me and Cam today will discuss three teams that should definitely pick Jack Eichel out of the woods and take him home safely. All right. So I'll start here. My three teams are the Calgary Flames, the LA Kings, and the New York Rangers. Now, no bias for why I'm picking the Rangers here, but, it's pretty obvious. I'm going to start with the Calgary Flames, though. So the Flames are kind of in a situation where they might become the Buffalo Sabres. Now, there's no way I'm saying they will become the Buffalo Sabres because I think they can turn things around. Honestly, if you start off with the fact that they have two amazing players on their forward line, Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau, I think Jack Eichel could fit perfectly in there. And, who knows? Maybe they decide to put all three guys on that first line. You never know what's going to happen. But, again, they also have Matthew Tkachuk, and I think he can be also a great partner for Jack Eichel. And, again, anything can happen, but let's take the realisticity here. I think Jack Eichel will be paired with Johnny Gaudreau, and I think that can easily bolster the entire chemistry of the Calgary Flames. Now, I want to ask you this, Cam, before I move on to my second team. There's not much to say about the Flames. Do you think that Jack Eichel is said to be more overrated because he's not trying, or is it because he's actually performing bad?
Well, I mean, due to his injury, I think he's actually more underrated, and I think a lot of people are undervaluing this guy. And the fact of the matter is, the Calgary Flames need a top line center really bad, and a cornerstone to build their franchise around. Because Sean Monahan's more of a second line guy, personally, I think. So Jack Eichel, would be a fabulous fit for Calgary alongside Johnny Gaudreau. And I think it depends on who you ask. Some people overrate him, always going to fetch this much value, but I think some people are underrating him that says, well, he'll fetch, something else. So it's honestly going to depend on what the GMs believe his value is. And quite frankly, I'm hearing he'll be traded in the next few days. I'm not quite sure, but I think he's a little, it depends on who you ask, honestly. Some people overrate this guy, but he is a top 15 NHL player. So you have to respect that. And he's a first line center. So you have to respect that.
I agree. The former Hobie Baker Award winner in 2015, look at his production rate since he's come into the Sabres. In the 15-16 season, 56 points. 16-17, he had 57. Following year, 64. And then in his 18-19 season, he had a breakout year, 28 goals, 54 assists, 82 points. Yes. The year after, he had a pretty overall decent year as well for such a bad team, as also plus with, the lockout due to the coronavirus, 36 goals, 42 points, 42 assists, 78 points in 68 games.
Yeah,
and then
incredible.
This year, he missed more than half of the games, right? So 2 goals, 16 assists, 18 points for Jack Eichel this season.
Yeah, that's it.
I think
player.
he's just giving up. He's slowly giving up, and at some point, he's just gonna say, "Beat me up while I'm already down." All right, because this guy deserves a new team. He doesn't deserve to be on a team that's not ready to handle what potential skill he has. And honestly, the reason why I'm gonna outrightly say no to the Calgary Flames is because I just don't think they're ready to handle Jack Eichel the same way that the Sabres would have. I think they're going to be very similar, in my opinion. I don't think that the Flames will turn him around and make him the next Sidney Crosby, the next Alex Ovechkin or something like that. He's going to remain the same, and he's going to want to trade in the next 4 or 5 years again. So the Flames are my third pick. I'm immediately telling you they're not going to be at the end of this trade talk. My second team is the LA Kings, and the reason why I'm picking the LA Kings is because the Kings are very young. We have to grow up and now tell you that Jack Eichel is a veteran at this point. He's been in the league for so long. He's a captain of a team, and regardless what team it is, no matter how bad or good they are, if you're a captain of a team, there's for a reason, right? Leadership is there. So, and the Kings do have leadership. I mean, they have 3 guys who've won 2 Stanley Cups. You have Anze Kopitar, you have Dustin Brown, and you have Drew Doughty, all right? They just gave away one of their best and long-term players in Jeff Carter to the Penguins. He's gone. So you need to figure out how you're going to get that fourth guy to be your veteran leader. And I think that Jack Eichel will perfectly step up. And, who knows how long Dustin Brown and Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty are going to be on the Kings. I don't think they're starting another rebuild, but, they just signed Alex Diafalo to a long-term contract. 4 years. So again, like Jack Eichel would be a perfect fit for the Kings. And this Kings team is so young. Gabe Velarde. They also got Quinton Byfield, who's probably gonna be playing next year. This team has so much future potential, and Jack Eichel just adds to the list. So the Kings are gonna be in my trade talk. I think that they might be a perfect fit for Jack Eichel. The Kings are my second team. And now the third team why I'm picking the Rangers here is because, well, I mean, why not? It's been talked about for almost for a whole season right now. If you put a guy like Artemi Panarin, who's a scoring machine, 95 points last year. I forgot how many points he had this year, but he definitely was in the talk for the Hart, of course, last year, as we all know. But again, you got also guys like Mika Zibanejad, who had a breakout season last year, especially late in the year. You also have young guys. Think about it like Alexis Lafreniere, Capo Caco, and they're all great players. And he had 58 points this year, by the way. And it's considering the fact that he missed 14 due to his leave of absence and injury. But again, I think if you put him on the top line, put him with Panarin, put Zibanejad, and put Eichel there, that's an unstoppable first line. That's going to be one of the best lines in the NHL in the future, which I'm really hyped to see as a Rangers fan. But again, I think that they will put Eichel with the young guys. I think they might put him with Kako and Lafreniere because I think he needs to mentor them. And they might use guys like Kreider and they might use guys like Zibanejad to mentor those two, but I think Eichel could also do the job. So in my pick, I think that the Kings will take him. I don't think that the Rangers will take him because, the Rangers are okay where they are. Eichel is not their biggest necessity right now. It would be a waste of cap space to have him. They might be going for someone on a much shorter option who's also a veteran, a much cheaper option who's also a veteran. But I think the Kings are the more perfect fit. Because both teams, the Rangers and Kings, are both young teams, as we all know. But we also have to consider the fact that if you look at the Kings situation versus the Rangers situation, their needs are much different. The Kings need more veteran presence, while the Rangers need more enforcers, right? So if we put that together, the Kings will definitely make a bigger trade and a bigger push to get Jack Eichel. Cam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think all those teams are great fits, especially the LA Kings. And you might have to give up Turcotte or Byfield in that trade, probably more on the less Turcotte. But if you can go Jack Eichel and Quinton Byfield as your 1-2 center down the future, that's pretty excellent. And I'll talk about my three teams. And each team I just see as a great fit. My first team is the Anaheim Ducks. Now, in this deal, I am not trading Trevor Zegras. I am not trading Jamie Drysdale. So you're going to have to give up the third overall pick this year. And they have a couple other young assets like Perreault, Brendan Tracy. Maybe you give up something on the defense. Trade away other assets. Now, picture this as your future core. Jack Eichel, Trevor Zegras. Anyway you cut it, that's a great 1-2. Jamie Drysdale on the point and John Gibson in net. That's your foundation for a Stanley Cup winning team for the next decade. Absolutely. And then you can just add to that. So I think Anaheim would be a great fit. It's a small market team, a team with young players on the rise that the pressure would be off Jack. You still got a guy like Zegras. You can take the pressure off him. You can teach him how to be a good centerman. You can build two elite lines and have an elite defenseman in Drysdale and an elite goaltender in Gibson. It's perfect. Now, the second team is the Minnesota Wild. I think Minnesota would be a great fit. Another small market team. Now, in this trade, you might have to move Matt Boldy, which I wouldn't want to if I was Minnesota, or Marco Rossi, which again, maybe not. But if you can get Kaprizov to sign a long-term deal, and Eichel might be a great persuasion tool to re-sign Kirill Kaprizov. Put him and Jack Eichel together, and maybe if you can keep a guy like Matt Boldy, that's a pretty elite first line. And I think Minnesota, it's a fun team. They have passionate fans, great media, great hockey state. I think that would be a really low-pressure situation for Jack Eichel.
And Eichel will love it. He'll love the environment, too. He'll flourish.
Yeah, it's a great environment. And my last team, I think, would be I think it's a perfect fit. Now, Jack Eichel to the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm not sure what assets they have to give up, but you can move Sebastian Aho to the left wing, Andrei Svechnikov to the right wing. They're untouchables. And move Jack Eichel to center, and that's like literally one of the best lines in the National Hockey League. He'd break out Svechnikov. Aho has a great overall 200-foot game. You can move him back to the wing in his natural position. And that's an elite top line on a serious contending team. I think Carolina, I don't think they make this trade. I bet they try to hold on to their assets. I doubt they'd move their any younger pieces. I'm not sure what they have to give up to get Eichel. I don't think they have the price, but I think Carolina would be an excellent fit. But personally, I think Minnesota, even if you have to move Marco Rossi, I'd probably consider it. I know that would be a tough pill to swallow, but I think Minnesota would be the best fit for Jack Eichel.
I 100% agree. And also, Minnesota might be the best choice because, obviously they have a lot of hockey fans. I think it's probably the biggest hockey state. Maybe Toronto can make an argument for that. But, definitely Minnesota has a great environment. They also have a decent team, great coaching too.
Yeah.
It's sad to see that, he didn't win. Dean Evanson did not win Jack Adams, but he was definitely in second place by far.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, I think that might be a great trade. I don't know who they might give up. Will they give up maybe one of their long two guys, maybe Suter or Parise? Who knows?
Buffalo takes the contract.
Yeah, and also think about it. Parise was a healthy scratch in the first few games of the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. So that's going to be a shocker to see maybe if he goes or not. But again, guys, thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Have a good night, everybody.